All right, ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet. Get ready to wave these drivers on. We're not going 4 wide. They are 5 wide and fancy for you, the fans. This is the 13th annual Canadian Sprintcar Nationals, brought to you by Aero Express. Backstretch, they're coming to you. Wave them on. 30 drivers ready to go. 35 laps for $12,000. It's going to be an all-out war. This time by, the white flag is displayed. Next time by, we're going green flag racing. 35 laps the distance. Two by two, 15 rows of beautifully prepared sprint cars ready to come to life. Sam Haferteep Jr., Carson Macedo on the front row. Kyle McKenzie's got the double green flags in hand, and we are ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, you came looking for a show. Well, here you go. Let's end all the anticipation as we bring to you our feature presentation.
So here we go. Now the pomp and circumstance is done. Just the racing left to do now, and Haferteep will lead them down the backstretch the first time.
Haferteep and Carson Macedo breaking away. Dustin Daggett right there in third, and it's a gaggle from there on back. Horseman trying to hold off Jordan Thomas.
The battle at the back of this field is unbelievable as they all search for racing room. Haferteep out in front by 10 car lengths over Macedo. Dustin Daggett settled into third. They're side by side for fourth.
Daggett's on the top groove, right where we expected him. Macedo starting to cut into that gap that Haferteep had opened up early in these laps here, as those two have broken away. Best battle right now in the top 5 is for the 4th spot between Jordan Thomas, Jared Horstman, and Sean Donith, and now trouble in turn 1 and 2.
Dane Nida, Brian Howland, and Jonathan Preston all involved there.
So Howland in his final sprint car race here tonight. Up into the wall. Preston spun in a big hurry. That car almost did 360s in its spot, and Corey Turner is not happy with Collins in the 67.
Yeah, those two have had run-ins before here at Ohsweken, and Steve decided not to come here for a little while after that, actually. And
well, guys, Jonathan Preston's knocked the nose and the rat out of this car. We've got a leak here. We will need a bit of speedy dry. Brian Howland trying to get pushed off here up on the top, and they're going to get him rolling again. Here goes Howland. He will fire off and not going to go to the work area. So we will work here on the Jonathan Preston 22 as he has knocked the nose and the rat out of this car.
For the nostalgic fans, we should mention again a couple of drivers making their final start. Brian Howland all the way at the back in that 51, and Dane Nida, who has quietly had a really good weekend.
That's Dane Nida's MO. He quietly and Dane Nida fit in the same sentence a lot, especially when he's on the track. Sometimes off the track he can have an opinion or two, but he just kind of sneaks up on you out there on the track.
Doing a great job as we're about to go green once again. 32 laps to go.
Hammer down, and look at Sean Donath rockets to the outside, trying to get by Carson Macedo. He'll use that outside lane. Will he have the momentum? No, Macedo will pull away down the backstretch.
Look at the move by Davey Franek, I think, on the outside. I'm not sure if he passed a lot of cars, but he went a long way to do it.
Oh, my dark horse pick is trying to make me look good here. Davey Franek gaining some spots. Meanwhile, Sean Donath is trying to keep up with the top two here and makes a run into turn 3 on Carson Macedo.
And it's so hard to watch the front of the field because the action towards the middle part is so exciting right now. Cars going back and forth, changing lanes. It's controlled chaos out there right now.
Donath gets way up to the outside coming off of turn number 2, loses a little bit of ground. Problems for Brian Howland.
And problems for the 10B of Mitch Brown got off the end of turn 3 and 4. Howland's race is done for the moment. He's gone to the pits. Sean Donath is still trying to get around Carson Macedo for the second spot.
What a shame for flying Brian Howland, a track that he's loved and he's hated at times as well. Tonight will be one of those for the latter, as right now Sam Hafertepe Jr. leads over Carson Macedo, and Sean Donath having a phenomenal run up there in third.
Hoopinen in the 14H, he's passed a number of cars since this event started, running about in the 15th position or so in that 14 machine, battling with Scott Broder.
This is not the first time that Jim Hoopinen is charged from deep in the field, and he's trying to make it happen again here. Meanwhile, the leaders are going to be in traffic momentarily. Lap 9 is in the books, and Holly Porter, the first machine that is going to have to be lapped here. But now look at Jason Barney's got something wrong with the 87.
Yeah.
I don't know how that wasn't an accident. Sorry, Adam.
No, not at all. He slowed in turn 4, but then he didn't come up to speed either. Finally back on the loud pedal, and this is right in front of the race leader, Sam Hafertepe, trying to carve through traffic.
Yeah, Hafertepe threaded the needle there. Macedo gets jumbled up just for a minute, but he has gained a bit of ground on Hafertepe.
Guys, check your out on Jordan Thomas. He's on the move.
Oh, big one! Turn number 1, a car. Is that
Dane Ida?
Holy moly, he got up off the racetrack in turn number 1, and that car shot straight up in the air after hitting the barriers.
Red out for Dane Nida. He was way in the air when I caught a glimpse up in corner number 1 and came down hard in the 17X.
Safety crews on the scene. Clinton Jeffrey headed out there. I believe it was a one-car accident. I don't see anything else up there. Yeah, in a frame of mind to talk to us, but whatever the case, he got up there in a hurry and way up in the air.
It'll be a shame for us, Tommy, not to see Dane here at the track anymore with him retiring from 360 sprint car competition, the 410s as well. Just one of those guys that when I first got involved, he was right there, just made you feel welcome in the pit area, and just a really likable guy. Yeah,
and he has been off and on a weekly racer here, basically, even though he lives west of Detroit, and it's about a 4.5-hour tow to get down here. But Dane did it for a lot of years every Friday, and both he and Brian Howland have been staunch supporters of the Canadian Sprintcar Nationals, basically right from the get-go.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for two nicer guys, really. Brian Howland's super nice guy as well. And one, I think we were all happy to see him get that win in 2015. Is you try not to be biased as an official or an announcer, but when someone like Brian Howland picks up a win in such a dramatic form, you can't help but be excited for the guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, Brian Howland especially, if anyone deserved to win, it was him after he had that hard crash a few years before and broke his shoulder and leg.
Doesn't appear to be too bad. If I'm going to have to go to work and forfeit my spot, I'm going to race through it. So keep your eye on Ryan Rule. Hopefully you don't have any stuck throttle issues.
Because that wouldn't weigh on your mind as a race car driver.
Hey, we give him the choice. He said it's not too bad. And, of course, I look down there. You can't see all the foot box. So not sure. Look at this snail's pace. Here we go. And Donath going to get around him on the outside.
Wow, great start for Sean Donath on the outside line. How about Carson Macedo? He draws up alongside Sam Hafertepe. Takes the lead for the moment down the backstretch.
Macedo to the lead. Hafertepe going to try back on the bottom. Donath, they're fading a little bit in turn number 3. New race leader.
Boy, look what that double file restart has done. Hafertepe back to second now as Macedo takes the lead with authority. Hafertepe, though, going to try to fight back on the inside.
Here comes Jordan Thomas on the bottom of Dustin Daggett and Sean Donath. Great battle from third, fourth, and fifth.
Behind them, they're changing lanes, top to bottom, bottom to top, out in front. 3 wide for a moment for the third spot. Corey Turner in the 97 has a problem.
Boy, Dustin Daggett almost got squeezed out of that sandwich a minute ago between Thomas and Donath, and those two drivers are still going at it tooth and nail for the third spot. Thomas takes it back for the moment. Meanwhile, up front, Sam Hafertepe's doing his best to keep Carson Macedo in sight.
Dustin Daggett in the 85 is fading a little bit. He has dropped out of the top 5 and still losing position. Jared Horseman now around the outside of the 85. We got a challenge for the lead.
And it is Macedo and Hafertepe still going at it for that lead. Macedo now loses the lead again to Hafertepe.
Hafertepe, your leader into corner 3 with Macedo in second. Jordan Thomas running third. Sean Donath right now in fourth. Fifth is Dustin Daggett. Sixth, Jared Horseman. Seventh is Ryan Susi. Eighth at the line is Chase Ridenauer. Ninth is Jim Hoopanen. And 10th is Coleman Gulick.
We are halfway through the Canadian Sprintcar Nationals. 18 laps down, 17 laps to go.
Jordan Thomas is on the move in that number 79 car, up to the third position now and chasing down Carson Macedo just as the leaders start to see traffic again.
Heavy lap traffic is going to be the situation now for Sam Hafertepe Jr. He's got Jake Brown right in his sights. He'll work around the outside of Holly Porter. Now to the extreme outside of Jake Brown. He had to get on the brakes.
He's got to check up, and he's got nowhere to go as a car down on the inside. Matt Tanner. Jake Brown again coming up towards the wall. That was close.
We're keeping an eye on Jordan Thomas as he continues to chase down those top two drivers as they fight through heavy traffic. Now Hafertepe has a bit of a break before he'll get up to Jeff Cook, but now Hafertepe almost got over the end of turn 3.
I was just about to say a lot of these guys are really on the very thin edge on the outside line. Hafertepe found it there just a moment ago. Jared Horseman's one of those drivers. He's back there in fourth, and he is really on the outside line.
Macedo throws the car into turn number 3, trying to get around the slower traffic. He'll finally get around as Randy Hannigan way up in the air out of turn 4.
Hannigan's nose wing is falling down, no downforce on the front end of the 22H.
And the other 22 also has the nose down right behind him, guys. Both of them. Nose wings collapsed.
Across the stripe another time. Hafertepe working to the outside of Jeff Cook. You've got Carson Macedo in second. Jordan Thomas in third. Jared Horseman fourth, and fifth right now is Sean Donath.
The action continues here at Ohsweken. Look at Coleman Gulick closing on opening down the back straightaway. Unbelievable action.
It's still Hafertepe with the lead, but he's working hard to get around Jeff Cook and hasn't been able to do it yet. And Carson Macedo starting to eat into that lead again. And then Robbie Stillwagon in front of them. He always works hard to keep on the lead lap. And Macedo now momentarily to the inside of Hafertepe.
Kyle McKenzie hangs 10 laps left to go with Sam Hafertepe leading over Carson Macedo. They're slicing through lap traffic. Macedo to the inside of Robbie Stillwagon.
Macedo to the bottom. Hafertepe to the top. Here goes Thomas in the 79. The top 3 right together as they race through turn 3.
This is what we love about the Canadian Sprintcar Nationals. Look at Jordan Thomas as he slips off corner 4. He was on the inside of Macedo momentarily, who now is trying to get to the inside of Hafertepe.
Oh, Jared Horseman was beginning to catch them, but then he went high in corner number 2, lost some ground as the top 3 continue to duke it out. Hafertepe, Macedo, and Thomas.
7 laps to go. They are going to encounter more slower traffic. Unbelievable action as Macedo closes in into turn number 3. They're both on the outside. Thomas down to the bottom.
Thomas pushing for all he's worth down there, but the top group still has enough for the moment. Macedo again to the inside of Hafertepe. He wants to try to get this done before they get into traffic again.
Leaders about to catch Parker Bryce Miller in the 67X. Macedo goes to the top spot. He slides up in front of Hafertepe. Macedo the leader on lap number 30.
Macedo still committed to the bottom groove. Hafertepe sliding the outside. Thomas running in the third spot. This race is still wide open.
Jordan Thomas is still lurking back there. Hafertepe tries to throw another slider on Macedo. Can't get it done that time, and that allows Thomas right to the tail end of the 15H.
Heavy lap traffic in front of Carson Macedo as he works the bottom lane. Here comes Jordan Thomas. He'll slip to the inside of Sam Hafertepe and take the second spot. He gets a great run through 3 and 4.
Macedo just did himself a huge favor getting through that lap traffic. Thomas a couple of car lengths back, but Hafertepe working the outside. There are too many cars for Hafertepe to move forward.
Jordan Thomas has lost a bit of ground on Macedo, but it's not over yet. 2 to go. This time by Carson Macedo has it. Jordan Thomas wants it.
Jordan Thomas trying to catch the 3G, doing a great job trying to reel in the leader. Possibly the greatest race of his young career. Here he comes, working on the bottom.
White flag in the air. One more lap around for Macedo. He's got Thomas behind him, closing the gap.
Macedo's got to get through traffic here. Thomas cannot do anything in corner 1 and 2, though.
Final time down the backstretch through 3 and 4. This car's been to victory lane before many times, but for the first time, Carson Macedo wins the Canadian Sprintcar Nationals. Jordan Thomas second. Sam Hafertepe Jr. comes home in position number 3. Ryan Susi fourth. And at the line, Dylan Westbrook with a top 5. Top 5 for him with the Outlaws and the Canadian Sprintcar Nationals.
What a race, what a show. Carson Macedo, welcome to Ohsweken Speedway.
That 3G, no stranger to Lucas Oil Victory Lane here at Ohsweken Speedway. But for the first time ever, California's Carson Macedo will pick up the win in the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Jordan Thomas comes home in second. Sam Hafertepe Jr., the pole sitter, finishes third. Ryan Susi, fourth place. And Dylan Westbrook, D-Dubs, a top 5 finish in both the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals and the Six Nations Showdown for the World of Outlaws. What a year for young D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook. We're going to send it down to Lucas Oil. Victory Lane.
So our race winner heads to the scales.
Coming out of the pit area out of California, Carson Macedo. He's out of the car. Let's hear it for Carson Macedo. Carson Macedo, come on out here in front, getting congratulations from Jordan Thomas. Whale of a run for you. What a race with Sam Hafertepe. A hard customer to try and beat, but talk about the racetrack. So many lanes. How do you pick which way to go?
Yeah, for a while there I couldn't decide what I was going to do. I was okay, but I got my wing back a little bit and kind of settled down, got patient. And, man, Sam's a hell of a racer, and just to compete at this level with him is pretty awesome. And this 3G team, these guys, Tim Norman, Cindy Norman, Joe Gertie, Eric Slade's here, just Hills Racing. Top performance Gertie engines, cars, always fast, and I'm just the lucky guy that gets to drive it.
Huge weekend for you, of course, last night and tonight. What do you think of Ohsweken Speedway?
Oh, man, it's awesome. If I could race here all the time, I definitely would, but I do this for a living, so I travel around and I get to race a lot of places and have a lot of fun, so that's what it's all about. And thanks to these fans for coming out. This place is awesome, and I can't wait to come back.
All right, let's hear it for your winner, Carson Macedo, picking up the win in the 13th annual Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. Jordan Thomas, I'll tell you what, that was a drive of a lifetime for you. You were strong all weekend long, though. You got to be happy. Even though you're not holding the winner's check, second place, not too shabby.
Oh, this is a win for us, and I just can't. I'm at a loss for words, man. Beating the best in the business with Hafertepe behind us and second to Macedo. I'm just at a loss for words.
Having Kevin Lovey's here that knows this track so well, did he give you any pointers that helped tonight?
Oh, he was all over this car, and he was keeping my dad away from it because he knew he'd messed it up a little bit, but the car was right on, and I'm just proud of this team.
There you have it. Jordan Thomas comes home with a very popular second-place finish, and we'll catch up with Sam Hafertepe Jr. Sam over here talking to Daryl Turford, and 2011 winner winds up third tonight. Man, a whale of a fight. Carson Macedo, Jordan Thomas, and you still come home with a podium.
Yeah, hats off to Carson. He drove a really good race. We fought a little bleeder issue there right before the A started, and we thought we had it fixed. And then just later the race went, we had about 9 pounds there in the right rear, and the track conditions that it was, we weren't going to get it done like that. But I got to thank Miles. He's done a lot for me, and to give me an opportunity to come up here, I feel bad we didn't get the win for him. I felt like we had the car to beat, and flexed a lot of strength all weekend long. So. But, Carson's a good racer. We race real good, hard and clean, and, he deserved to win tonight. And he went to the right spots in traffic, and, that's the name of the game sometimes.
All right, Sam Haferteep Jr. comes home with the podium finish in the 13th Annual Canadian Sprintcar Nationals. Glenn, you weren't behind the wheel, but, man, what a show. That feature, how do you keep up with all the action out there?
You know what? I'm used to that high-speed stuff, and when you're behind the wheel, you kind of can see what's going on. And for me, sitting up in the stands and watching all that stuff, it felt like I was right there. It was amazing. Like, you guys got a good show tonight. It was awesome.
What was it like seeing your car out there and running around the bottom so fast? Holly did a great job for you tonight.
You know what? It was amazing that she made the show. Like, I think it's only her 4th or 5th time in a 360, and she's like not far off the pace, and running with these guys is so awesome to see, especially for a girl. I love it.
Now, a lot of folks are asking, will we see you back behind the wheel again? I know Dylan's doing well, Holly's doing well. How are you doing?
My head's, I always tell everybody my yoke's still scrambled. Still feels like I'm on a boat. Everything's kind of wobbly. Never ever felt like this for this long. Constantly motion sick, and I don't know, hopefully it goes away soon.
Well, thank you very much for all that you do. Without you and your family and your brother Kurt, we couldn't have what we just saw here tonight. What an amazing night.
Yeah, it was incredible. We got warm weather, and again, thank all you guys. You guys sound like pros. Like, it was amazing just to sit back and watch. Enjoy it.
There he is, folks, the boss. Glenn Styres. Let's hear it for Glenn Styres. Not seeing him behind the wheel, but, man, what a phenomenal night here at Ohsweken Speedway. We want to thank all of you, the fans, for being a part of this 13th Annual Canadian Sprintcar Nationals, brought to you by Aero Express. Thank you to all those watching at home on pay-per-view. Hope you enjoyed the show. We apologize about last night, but hope you enjoyed tonight's race. So that will do it for another racing season of race cars on the track. Don't forget, next Saturday night, the flat track bikes are here. Qualifying starts at 2, racing at 7 o'clock. But as for our regular Friday night crew, on behalf of the Styres family, all the officials and staff that make everything possible, and on behalf of my co-announcers tonight, Clinton Jeffrey, Adam Ross, Tommy Gooch, my name's Greg Hellman saying so long, and we'll see you next season.
Ooh, I like that.